I'm going to take you through an interactive case study for some work that we've done on a recent construction project, and picking up on some of the themes that we've heard today, that certainly in construction we're seeing the same problems. My co-speaker, Tom Brankley, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, has a very good kind of analogy of construction, that the only thing that's changed in the last 100 years in construction is that we wear steel toe-cup boots now instead of sandals. And his desire for this project, we're going to look at the case study for today, Sugar House Island build within Stratford, was a real desire to look at all of the technologies that are out there and look at how we can deliver a digital construction project. So some of that's removal of paper, some of that's having a real-time view, real-time visibility on what's happening from the architecture side through to the modeling, through to the construction delivery side of that. Now, me being MD of EviFIle, we were one of the products selected in a suite of tools trying to hit Tom's objectives for this specific piece, which were very much to provide a central place to track how my construction project is operating, right through from the model and the architect's drawings, right through to ITPs and quality check sheets and non-conformance reporting. We also wanted to look at getting rid of paper. It's unbelievable that there's such a low adoption curve for technology that still a lot of construction projects are reliant on paper reporting in terms of work, progress, and evidence and things that have been built correctly. We also wanted to be able to provide all of the information located to actually where the construction project was built. So being able to build that and locate all of the geo data into the model, so we've got a complete view of the soil up to the building, and also all of the associated information that was gathered as part of the construction build. And for the first time, for Tom certainly, to have a digital dashboard to show progress at any point in time in real time. So where are we on the build? Where are we in terms of delivering our as-builts? Where are we in our NCRs? What are the problems that are being caused? And how do we rectify those in the build rather than them coming back to bite us as part of a dispute at the end of the process? And also building that evidence. I mean, EviFIle is a digital evidence platform, and we'll take a look at some of the benefits of that as we go through the case study. But the ability to deliver a single evidential PDF of any part of the build at a single click was really, a key objective that we wanted to achieve through all of this. So how did we do that? And I realize this is a crazy diagram that's not going to look very good on a big screen, but we used a whole host of different solutions to try and deliver a real-time construction project. So from everything from using Autodesk and Revit for the BIM model, we also used a tool called 3D Repo, which enables us to take the BIM model, put it in a browser, and put it in the hands of an engineer on site. EviFIle was then used to combine and collect all of the evidence, photographs, videos, and forms, and feed that information directly back into the model. So the exciting thing here was that the model, which normally sits in a porter cabin and doesn't actually make it out on site, was in the hands of everybody who was involved in doing the build. Any issues could be surfaced immediately. All of that information would flow in real time between the guys out on site and the guys looking after the design of the building. We also used a whole host of other tools to capture drone information for as-builts, looking at point cloud data, and actually building all of that into a single vision or a single view of what was happening with this construction piece for Sugar House Island. So we had data flowing pretty much consistently, right, all the way from the engineers and the guys on site, all the technical and visual data that we're getting from the scanning. And at any one time, we had an interface to go in and get a point-in-time view of where we were on this particular piece or this particular construction build. The key part for us was working directly with 3D Repo to put the BIM model and all of the information around that into hands of the people doing the work, but also connecting those information sources together rapidly. So we developed a whole number of tools to do so. And here's an example of the Sugarhouse Island model that we started to use to drive all of the construction points and be really the window onto the actual build itself. So to enable the people to get the best use of the model, we created points of interest for every asset. Those points of interest were directly linked into EviFIle, which then enabled us to create an area within the model where we could load in whichever points of data that were of interest, whether it be photographs, images, problems, QA referrals, or NCRs that needed to be dealt with. All of that was driven from a browser, driven from the model, but it gave access to all the information to everyone as that build was actually happening. Then, by clicking on any one of the points of interest, in a mobile on tablet-enabled version of EviFIle, we enabled you to get the GIS view, where you could see where the particular part of the build was happening, what documents, what activities, what attachments were happening, who was working on it, and all of the information built up through the use of the EviFIle app, but was also linked back directly in real time to the model. So we had true information sharing from the guys in the field to the guys at head office. We also could produce all of our inspection test plans, all of our digital progressive assurance and associated documents were all digitized, so they were all completed on the tablets in the field. Again, every issue, everything that's being cited was being delivered in real time. We could also provide access to the drawings, the CAD data, and everything was accessible through a browser and an app. And the whole workflow was also controlled through EviFIle to make sure that things were done in the right way, in the right order, also being surfaced and fed back through into the BIM model so that you have a single view of the data and a single view of the issues. So this is an example of what the app looked like. So we actually gave all the engineers, all the guys on the site, they had their own apps. They were using Android tablets and phones, capturing evidence, following the workflow, picking up all of the information that was relevant to the project as they go, meaning that real-time decisions could be made, issues could be avoided, and we get it right first time, essentially. So all of this data enabled us to do things like digital sign-off, capture and encrypt all the information, make sure that the right people were delivering and authorizing that things had been done correctly, capturing things like site diaries, and delivering that into real-time reporting. So at any time, you can track progress of the entire build, look at where all the projects and issues and referrals were being generated and actually do something about it. And this generated some real benefits. Not something wrong with the formatting on the slides, but I'll take you through the key benefits of being that there was around a 25% reduction in rework. Because we were seeing what the issues happening as they were happening, we were able to do something about that and actually course correct through the build, meaning that we didn't have disputes, we didn't have issues with things that were being built that were built incorrectly. The visibility and the central location of all that information enabled us to chop a lot of the cost and a lot of the issue out that would normally come at the end of the process. Everything was held in one place, so when it came to the handover of the build, we had everything from the first part of the project right to the end, including all the evidence of every step of everything that was built, which is a huge benefit when it comes to handing over to operations and maintenance, as well as, again, dispute management and issue handling. And we were storing everything from 4K drone footage right through to individual photographs of how things have been implemented and embedded on the build. Finally, we linked this all into the common data environment. So all these different platforms and tools, we worked tirelessly with Jonathan Hunt to be able to make them all interconnect. And what that essentially gave us was a one-stop shop for all of that information that would flow into the CDE and would then be delivered as a final handover and evidence that the job was done to specification. And we've seen some huge benefits on top of this from just having everything available in the cloud on any device. And we've seen anything upwards of 20 to 25% efficiency savings across our projects just in time saved by having access to all the right information at the right time. If Tom were here, he'd say it himself, but obviously he's cried off. But this is the feedback from Tom in the sense of, we had a fully engaged team, even the guys in the field, which is a very difficult audience to get engaged with technology in a lot of cases. But this infrastructure really created a customizable and collaborative platform that massively benefited the build and had some real bottom line benefits for John F. Hunt. And that's it. Thank you very much.